Hello and welcome back, guys. I am sitting with the manga with my ears, so you know what today is. It is Spotlight Day of my favorite manga. I'm currently eating what is that, Ricola? Because my throat is going. So you might see me chomp on this for a little bit. I hope you guys are doing well. I hope you guys are taking care of yourself this lovely spring-ish day. The sun is out. It did snow last week, but the sun is out. Let's hope winter continues to send itself away and bring in spring. And because it is springtime, it is the beginning of another school year in Japan. So it is the perfect time to talk about a story that has school life, a lot of drama. I was gonna say some drama, but there's a lot of drama in it, and it's called Kare Kano. So here we go, Kare Kano. Oh, Tsubasa's on the cover of this one that I grabbed. I loved the story. I thought it was very, very, very fascinating. It was also very strange at times, where you have parents running after each other, trying to kill each other because they love their child, but also at the same time not. It's crazy. I'm gonna try my best not to spoil the story for you and just give you like a brief synopsis. So where do we start? We'll start at the beginning. So it is school life. Well, it's a school life romantic comedy. It's shoujo, almost like slice of life. It's very human in the sense of they tackle real life topics that kids their age could be going through. Of course, like theirs is a little bit more severe, I would say, than others. The two main characters is Miyazawa and Arima. And Miyazawa is this top of the class girl who we later on find out loves attention, but doesn't realize how much, and that she didn't need it as much as she thought. Who you find out she's actually wearing this mask because Arima discovers this one day when he shows up at her house. And she's not like what he thought. It surprised him. And so they get to know each other, Arima and Miyazawa. And Arima is also a top of the class type of kid as well. He's very intelligent. He's also wearing a mask, but for a completely different reason. It's not for the attention. It is because he's hiding a lot of his past and a lot of secrets. And as they go along, they kind of start to unravel each other's masks. And he ends up being greatly in love with her. And she falls in love with him over time as well. And it becomes a super deep connection. But throughout the process, Miyazawa ends up growing a lot and, developing and becoming like just a betterment of herself. She still loves the attention and all of that, but it was just different now because Arima had helped her to grow. But at the same time, she was also helping him, but he was kind of doing it alone, especially because he does a lot of things in his head. He takes he thinks about too much. I don't know how to put it. It's almost like he's in a depressive state and he needs her as his light to kind of keep him in check. But there's just so much darkness. There's so much things that happened in his past that he just can't get through the fog, you know? But the story has so much depth and so many things in it. I gotta give like a little side eye to because there's a couple of storylines where I'm like, what do you mean? Maho is one of their friends, Miyazawa's friends, and um, she is in a relationship with a dentist. He's like 28, and she's in high school. She's like 15, 16, 17. And I'm just like, I don't know. I mean, these things do happen, but at the same time, you gotta give a little side eye to the story. Or even, Tsubasa, she's just like trapped in this little girl's body. But she's a teenager, and she falls in love with her stepbrother. Yeah, because their parents got married. It's like, yeah. Um, there's a lot of interesting storylines. But regardless of those storylines and the side eye you kind of have to give to it because you're just like, I'm not sure. I still enjoyed the story because regardless of if we agree that it is good or bad, these kinds of things do occur, right? It's just we don't hear about them as much because no one's really going to be talking about things like that. I'm going to open the book because I love looking at the art. It is very much Kazuma, that is Tsubasa's brother. The parents and like the side characters in these stories are also very interesting. Miyazawa's parents, I think, are the most interesting. Her dad is very funny, and they have a good storyline that's backstory that's in the manga itself, which I liked. Yeah, they just have a very interesting backstory of how they got together. Oh, I love the art style. Like, just look at it. That's Arima. And this is, oh my god, what's his name? Abasa. He's Arima's, their best friends. He also is an interesting character in the sense of it seems like he's not very loved in his family. He lives on his own, and him and his parents do not get along, and he has quite a bit of darkness. There's not much detail that's dived into for his backstory, which I wish there was. He did talk about it a bit closer to the end of the volumes, with a side character that we didn't even really see who she was. But I felt like he was kind of left on the sidelines in the story, like not a part of the story, but I mean like the author did not give him as much, and I wish he had as much as other people in the story, but it was still very good. I love that there's just some completely blank panels almost with no words, and then you'll go to others and there's just so much writing. There's so much. Like, they're having a full argument. Dad goes crazy. It smacks her in the face. Oh, and yeah, I just like the story. Actually, this is the beginning of Tsubasa's backstory, this chapter, as well as the backstory of like, look at this panel is just words and just tiny bits of pictures. That's actually what I enjoyed about the anime. The anime was short. There was a lot of controversy and like dysfunction that happened behind the scenes for the anime. So if you've ever watched the anime, it is not as similar as the manga, but the way that it was created was very interesting, and not like other anime I've watched. Granted, this was also made, I think in 1998, or it was like the late 90s. The anime was made. The manga was started in 1995 and then concluded in mid 2000s. So it was very interesting the way that the manga was created. I loved how it was almost like they ran out of budget. They had some of the episodes was just all what's it called? It's like pages of the manga that was just in the story. Uh, or they had like cutouts of the characters kind of like walking along. It was just strange, but it kind of worked. It was weird. I don't think you could recreate it in the same way now. You'd have to do it in a completely different way, but I liked it. I think Kare Kano should definitely get a anime adaptation for now. Um, I don't know. I liked it, but I know a lot of people didn't like it. Uh, but if you like the anime, if you like the manga, or if you've read it before, you can try watching the anime. I think there's like, I don't remember how many episodes, um, but yeah, it seemed like a rush job. I don't know if that's true. I don't know all the backstories behind it, but it was interesting. Um, yeah, so the story in itself concludes with Arima finding out more about his parents because he didn't end up knowing a lot. Unfortunately, he was abused as a child and neglected. And then his adoptive parents, which actually is his uncle and aunt, take him in and raise him. But there are still a lot of things that he had to deal with for himself that unfortunately caused a lot of turmoil. And for him to open up his mindset to allow himself to dive deeper, I thought was very courageous, especially because remember, this is like a 17, 18-year-old child at the time when he's dealing with these things. And if you're a person that's ever been through a sad time, depression, abuse, or any of those types of things, it can be very jarring. And sometimes you don't know what to do. And so to see these kids navigating these very strong topics and trying to keep themselves afloat, but at the same time, trying to figure out how they can continue on with their lives without harming themselves in the process it's very commendable. So I do like the writing style for that because even though there's some very, very dark bits in it, it is still very much a slice of life shoujo manga with lots of deep stories. And I love the connectivity of all the characters. Sometimes I felt there were too many characters, but they all served a purpose in some way or another. Like, I mean, there is like one book, I forget which chapter it was now, where they told a story. It's like a play that was put on, and it was Tsubasa, Maho, and Miyazawa playing these characters, and it was almost in parallel to their lives, which also kind of sent Arima on his spiral into going to that darker depth of his mind. To it was like a catalyst, and I thought that was really cool. They even took a step back out of the story altogether to tell a story, and it's a fictional story within that story. Was interesting writing, and I like that a lot. But yes, I think I've gone on for a while. Kare Kano, I think you should read it. It is very good. I give it, I give it an 8 out of 10 for story writing, story building, or world building, character development. I think it's great. And yes, there's some things that you're gonna look at like like that, but look past those bits and just read and enjoy the story with the characters. I don't think there is a legal site to watch the anime, so you'll have to find that for yourself. But yeah, watch it and tell me what you think. If you have watched it or read it, let me know in the comments down below. My favorite character is Arima because I find his stories very fascinating. I think I just connected to a lot of the things that he's gone through and how he like overcomes all of that. And I loved the even just like the story of how he even came to be from the story of his grandfather to his father and to him. It's like a cycle of turmoil that's happened. And sometimes that is our story, where it is a cyclical pattern of depression and sadness in our lives that is just brought on by each new generation. And somewhere or another, we have to break that cycle. So if you guys are ever having any difficulties, please ask for help. Please reach out to a therapist. Please reach out to your doctors, or even just reach out to somebody who would sit and listen, because I think it's important that we give ourselves grace, we give ourselves time, and we give ourselves the support necessary to help us when it's needed. Yeah, that's all I'll say about that. But it's a great story. It can trigger you. So if you have some deep secrets that you're hiding, maybe don't read this. But maybe do, because maybe it'll push you in a direction to get the help that you need. Anyway, that is my review of Kare Kano. That totally went somewhere else. I did not mean to talk about such sad topics, but I think sometimes it's necessary. And we gravitate to stories for a purpose. So yeah, that was my review. Tell me in the comments if you guys like that, and yeah, I'll see you in the next video. Like, share, comment, and subscribe, and have a great day, guys. Enjoy the spring weather. Hopefully it lasts. Okay, peace out. Bye.